Over 700,000 migrants arrived in the UK in a single year, the highest number ever recorded. Now imagine waking up one morning to hear that new deportation laws could force thousands, even millions, to leave the country. Sounds shocking, right? The UK government is now discussing major immigration changes for 2026, and these rules could affect students, workers, asylum seekers, and even long-term residents. And many people who believed their future in Britain was secure are suddenly asking one question: could they be next? In this video, we'll reveal 10 powerful reasons behind the UK's new deportation plans and why these changes are causing fear, debate, and uncertainty across the country. Make sure you watch until the end, because reason number 1 might surprise you the most. Number 10. Public opinion is pushing the government toward tougher deportation policies. One of the biggest forces behind immigration laws is not just policy experts or government officials. It's public opinion. Over the past few years, immigration has become one of the most debated topics in the UK, influencing elections, political campaigns, and national conversations. When a large portion of the public starts demanding stronger border control, governments often respond with stricter immigration and deportation policies. Recent surveys and public discussions show that many citizens are concerned about housing shortages, rising living costs, and pressure on public services like healthcare and schools. As a result, political leaders face increasing pressure to show that they are taking control of immigration numbers. But introducing tougher deportation laws is often seen as a way to demonstrate stronger enforcement and reassure voters that immigration rules are being taken seriously. However, this approach also sparks intense debate. Critics argue that stricter deportation policies could create fear among migrants who are contributing to the economy as workers, students, and skilled professionals. Supporters, on the other hand, believe that stronger enforcement is necessary to maintain economic stability and border security. In reality, immigration policies often reflect the balance between public concerns, economic needs, and humanitarian responsibilities. And in 2026, that balance may shift in ways that could reshape the future for millions of people living in the UK. Before you go, tell us your honest opinion in the comments. Do you think the UK's new deportation laws are necessary, or are they too strict? And if you appreciate the effort we put into researching and creating these videos, please subscribe to the channel. It's just one click, but it helps us keep bringing you more important updates like this. Number 9. Increased workplace immigration raids. Another major reason behind the UK's tougher deportation plans is the government's decision to increase immigration enforcement in workplaces. Authorities believe that many undocumented migrants remain in the country by working in businesses that either ignore immigration rules or fail to properly verify employee documents. Because of this, enforcement teams are expected to carry out more frequent workplace inspections and raids across industries. Sectors such as construction, hospitality, agriculture, and delivery services are often highlighted because they rely heavily on migrant labour. Government officials argue that stricter inspections will help stop illegal employment networks and ensure that companies follow proper immigration laws. Businesses caught hiring undocumented workers may face heavy fines, licence suspension, or even criminal charges. For migrants, this means the risk of being identified has increased significantly. During workplace inspections, officers may check identity documents, visa status, and employment eligibility. If someone is found working without legal authorization, they could face detention or fast-track deportation proceedings. Supporters say these enforcement measures protect fair wages and job opportunities for legal workers. However, critics argue that aggressive workplace raids could create fear and uncertainty for migrant communities who are already contributing to the economy. But now we want to hear your perspective. Do you think workplace immigration raids are necessary enforcement or too extreme? Share your thoughts in the comments. We read them all. And if you value the research and effort behind these videos, please subscribe to the channel. It takes just one click, but it helps us keep bringing you more important stories like this. Number 8. New deportation agreements with other countries. Another powerful reason behind the UK's tougher deportation strategy is the government's effort to sign new deportation and return agreements with other countries. In the past, deporting someone from the UK could take months or even years, mainly because some countries refused to accept their citizens back or delayed issuing travel documents. This created long legal processes and allowed many people to remain in the UK while their cases dragged on. To solve this problem, the UK government has been negotiating bilateral agreements with multiple nations. These agreements make it easier and faster for authorities to send individuals back to their home countries once a deportation order is issued. With clearer procedures and cooperation between governments, the deportation process could become significantly quicker and more efficient. Officials argue that these agreements help strengthen immigration enforcement and border control, ensuring that individuals who no longer have the legal right to stay cannot remain in the country indefinitely. However, critics worry that faster deportation systems may reduce the time available for appeals or humanitarian reviews, which could impact vulnerable individuals. If these agreements expand in 2026, deportations that once took years could potentially happen within weeks or months, and dramatically changing how immigration enforcement works in the UK. Let us know what you think. Should countries cooperate more on deportation agreements, or could this create unfair situations for migrants? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We truly enjoy reading your perspectives, and if you appreciate the time, research, and effort we put into these videos, please subscribe to the channel. It's just one simple click, but it helps us continue creating content like this. Number 7. Advanced border technology and digital immigration tracking. Another major factor driving the UK's stricter deportation policies is the rapid expansion of advanced border technology. In recent years, the government has invested heavily in digital immigration systems, biometric identification, and AI-powered monitoring tools designed to track who enters and leaves the country more accurately than ever before. Previously, it was much easier for individuals to remain in the UK after their visa expired because immigration systems relied heavily on paperwork and manual records. But with new digital tracking systems, authorities can now monitor visa status, travel history, and residency data in real time. Biometric passports, facial recognition at airports, and centralised immigration databases allow officials to quickly identify people who may be overstaying their visas or violating immigration rules. In-supporters argue that these technologies help create a more secure and organised immigration system, reducing fraud and improving border management. The government claims that better data means authorities can focus enforcement efforts on individuals who are breaking immigration laws, rather than slowing down legal travellers. However, critics worry that increased digital surveillance could lead to privacy concerns and automated enforcement decisions that may affect people unfairly. As technology continues to evolve, immigration enforcement in the UK could become faster, stricter, and far more data-driven than ever before. We're curious about your opinion. Do you think advanced technology should play a bigger role in immigration control, or could it create new risks? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you appreciate the research and effort behind videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. It takes just one click, but it helps us keep bringing you more informative content. Number 6. Tougher rules for asylum seekers. Another key reason behind the UK's stricter deportation plans is the government's effort to introduce tougher policies for asylum seekers. In recent years, the UK has seen a significant rise in people applying for asylum, many of whom arrive through irregular routes, such as small boat crossings across the English Channel. This increase has created intense political debate and pressure on authorities to change how asylum claims are processed. To address this issue, the government has been pushing for policies that allow faster decisions on asylum applications and quicker removal of individuals whose claims are rejected. Officials argue that speeding up the process will help reduce the backlog of cases and discourage dangerous migration routes often controlled by human trafficking networks. Under stricter enforcement plans, asylum seekers whose applications are denied could face quicker detention and deportation procedures. The goal, according to policymakers, is to ensure that only individuals with genuine protection needs remain in the country. However, these policies remain highly controversial. Critics warn that rapid deportation systems might risk sending vulnerable individuals back to unsafe conditions if cases are not carefully reviewed. Supporters, on the other hand, believe stronger rules are necessary to maintain border control and a fair asylum system. Now, we want to hear from you. Should asylum rules become stricter, or should countries offer more protection to people seeking safety? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you value the time and effort we put into researching these topics, please subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it means a lot and helps us continue creating videos like this. Number 5. Stricter rules for international students. International students have long been an important part of the UK's education system, contributing billions to the economy and supporting universities across the country. However, in recent years, the government has started introducing stricter rules for student visas, which could play a role in future deportation increases. One major concern for policymakers is that some individuals may use the student visa route as a long-term pathway to remain in the UK, even when their main intention is not education. Because of this, new policies have already begun limiting certain privileges for international students. For example, many students are now restricted from bringing family members as dependents. And there is growing discussion about tightening the post-study work opportunities that allow graduates to stay in the UK after finishing their degrees. If these rules become even stricter by 2026, some international students who previously expected to transition into work visas or permanent residency may find fewer options available. In some cases, graduates who cannot secure qualifying jobs quickly enough may be required to leave the country sooner than anticipated. EU supporters argue that these changes help maintain the integrity of the immigration system, while critics warn they could discourage talented students from choosing the UK for their education. We'd love to hear your perspective. Should international students have more opportunities to stay and work after graduation, or should the rules remain strict? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you appreciate the effort and research behind these videos, please subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it helps us continue creating valuable content for you. Number 4. Higher salary requirements for work visas. Another major change influencing potential deportations in the UK is the introduction of higher salary thresholds for skilled work visas. The government has already started raising the minimum salary requirement for many foreign workers who want to live and work in the country. The goal, according to policymakers, is to prioritise higher skilled jobs and reduce reliance on lower-paid migrant labour. Under these updated rules, many workers must now earn significantly higher salaries to qualify for or renew their work visas. If a worker's salary falls below the required threshold, they may struggle to extend their visa or switch to another immigration route. For some individuals who have already been living and working in the UK, this could create a difficult situation if their job no longer meets the new requirements. Industries such as healthcare support, hospitality, retail, and social care may feel the impact the most, since many roles in these sectors traditionally offer lower wages compared to highly specialised professions. Supporters argue that higher salary requirements encourage companies to invest in local workers and improve wages. However, critics warn that the policy could lead to skilled migrants losing their legal status, forcing some individuals to leave the country even after contributing to the economy for years. Now, we want to know your opinion. Should work visa salary requirements be higher, or could this push valuable workers out of the UK? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you appreciate the time and research behind these videos, please subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it helps us keep bringing you important updates like this. Number 3. A major crackdown on visa overstayers. One of the biggest challenges for immigration authorities in the UK is dealing with visa overstayers, individuals who enter the country legally but remain after their visa has expired. According to various immigration reports, thousands of people each year stay beyond the permitted duration of their student, tourist or work visas, making it difficult for authorities to track their legal status. To address this issue, the UK government has been strengthening systems designed to identify and remove visa overstayers more quickly. With improved digital immigration records, authorities can now track when someone enters the country, how long they are allowed to stay, and whether they have legally extended their visa. If someone remains in the UK after their permission expires, they could face penalties, restrictions on future visas, or deportation orders. But officials argue that enforcing visa rules more strictly is necessary to maintain fairness in the immigration system. People who follow legal procedures often wait months or years for approvals, so governments want to ensure that rules are applied equally to everyone. However, critics warn that strict enforcement could create fear among migrants who may accidentally miss deadlines or struggle with complex visa renewal processes, potentially putting them at risk of sudden deportation. We're really interested in your thoughts. Should governments be stricter with visa overstayers, or should there be more flexibility for people who make honest mistakes? Share your opinion in the comments below. And if you appreciate the effort and research we put into making these videos, please subscribe to our channel. It's just one click, but it helps us continue bringing you informative content. Number 2. Growing political pressure to reduce immigration. Another powerful factor behind the UK's stricter deportation plans is the increasing political pressure to reduce immigration numbers. Over the past few years, immigration has become one of the most debated issues in British politics, often dominating election campaigns, public debates, and government policy discussions. Many political leaders believe that controlling immigration is necessary to address concerns related to housing shortages, rising living costs, and pressure on public services such as healthcare, transportation, and education. As a result, governments often introduce tougher immigration rules to demonstrate that they are taking stronger action on border control and migration management. In election periods especially, immigration policies tend to become even stricter because political parties want to show voters they can protect national interests and manage population growth effectively. Deportation laws are often part of these strategies, allowing governments to enforce rules more aggressively and remove individuals who no longer meet visa or residency requirements. However, this approach remains highly debated. Critics argue that migrants play a major role in supporting the UK economy, workforce, and innovation sectors, and that overly strict policies could discourage talented individuals from choosing the UK as their destination. In the end, immigration laws are often shaped by the balance between political promises, economic needs, and public opinion. Now it's your turn. Do you think political pressure is the right reason to tighten immigration laws, or should policies focus more on economic needs? Share your honest thoughts in the comments. Number 1. Record-breaking migration numbers in the UK. Perhaps the biggest reason behind the UK's tougher deportation discussions is the sharp rise in migration numbers in recent years. According to official statistics, the UK has experienced record-breaking levels of net migration, with hundreds of thousands of people arriving in a single year for work, study, and family reunification. While migration brings economic benefits, such rapid growth has also sparked serious debate across the country. Government officials argue that such high numbers can place pressure on housing, public transport, schools, and healthcare services, particularly in large cities where populations grow quickly. As communities expand faster than infrastructure can keep up, policymakers face increasing calls to reduce immigration levels and strengthen enforcement of existing rules. Because of this, stricter deportation laws are often presented as a way to regain control of the immigration system. The idea is that individuals who do not meet visa conditions, overstay their permits, or fail to qualify under updated immigration rules may be required to leave the country more quickly than before. However, many economists and experts point out that migrants also contribute significantly to the UK's workforce, innovation, and economic growth. This creates a complex debate where governments must balance economic benefits with public concerns about migration levels. Before you leave, we genuinely want to hear your opinion. Do you think rising migration numbers justify stricter deportation policies? Share your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one, and if you appreciate the effort we put into researching and creating these videos, please subscribe to our channel. It's just one simple click, but it helps us continue bringing you more important stories like this. The debate around the UK's new deportation laws expected in 2026 highlights just how complex immigration policy has become. As we've explored in this video, multiple factors are shaping these potential changes. From record migration numbers and political pressure to stricter visa rules, workplace enforcement, and advanced immigration technology. Together, these developments suggest that the UK is moving toward a much tighter and more controlled immigration system. For many migrants, these changes could bring uncertainty about their future. International students, foreign workers, asylum seekers, and even long-term residents may need to pay closer attention to evolving immigration policies. Small changes in visa rules, salary requirements, or documentation could make a big difference in whether someone is allowed to remain in the country or asked to leave. At the same time, supporters of stricter enforcement believe these policies are necessary to protect national resources, to manage population growth, and ensure immigration laws are respected. Governments often argue that maintaining a clear and fair immigration system helps balance economic needs with public concerns. However, critics warn that overly strict policies could risk pushing away talented workers, international students, and skilled professionals who contribute greatly to the UK's economy and cultural diversity. This is why immigration remains one of the most debated and emotionally charged issues in modern politics. As the UK continues to review and adjust its immigration strategy, one thing is clear. The decisions made in the coming years could reshape the lives of millions of people and redefine the country's approach to migration. The big question now is how the UK will balance security, economic growth, and humanitarian responsibility in the years ahead. And the answer to that question could determine the future of immigration in Britain for decades to come.